Hey guys, welcome back to my show. In today's episode, I'll be doing an auto talk on Shel Silverstein, doing a book talk on a special book which I love. It's a self help writing book, and then I'll be giving you tips on how to write a great short story. So let's dive right in. So, first, we'll be doing the author talk. So, Shel Silverstein, I'm pretty sure you all would have read The Giving Tree. If not, then you should definitely read that. It's an amazing book. It's all about helpfulness, gratefulness, hopefulness. Well, I think I said that already. Basically, it's all about friendships between the tree and the boy. I'm not going to tell you any more about it because I don't want to spoil the book for you if you haven't read it yet. Anyways, Shel Silverstein was an American writer, poet, cartoonist, songwriter, and playwright. He was best known for his cartoons, songs, and children's books, and starred himself as Uncle Shelby in some of his works. And his books have been translated into more than 30 languages and have been sold more than 20 have sold more than 20 million copies, which is amazing. He has won the Grammy Award for Best Country Song and many other awards. Some of his books are The Giving Tree, A Light in the Attic, Falling Up, The Missing Piece, and many other. Now on to the book talk. So this book is amazing. It's called The Writing a Novel and Getting Published for Dummies by the Wiley brand, and it's written by George Green, who is a senior lecturer in creative writing and is a published novelist. It is also written by Lizzie Creamer, who is a literary agent. Now, this book is for you if you want to learn how to craft a winning manuscript, troubleshoot and edit your work, and at some point prepare your manuscript for publication, find a good agent to represent you, or even negotiate the best possible deal for yourself. Now, if you're going through the self-publishing route, then that last thing is what you will have to do. But if you're going through the traditional publishing, which is like when you work with an agent, that part is already done for you by the agent, but then you can see whether your deal is good enough or you want your agent to get you a better deal or not. Well, it doesn't really work like that, but you can at least see and look around and see whether that works. Anyways, this book is amazing. Even if you're not planning on getting your book published anytime soon, you can still get this book from your local library, Amazon, wherever, and read it because it has a lot of fun things. Like a few fun topics which are in here are building from the basics, examining the elements, creating character, exploring relationships, talking about dialogue, conflict, depth and detail, ending and editing, publishing a novel, finding an agent, preparing for publication, coping with the business side of being an author, taking control, self-publishing, the 10 top tips for writers, 10 common mistakes and how to avoid them while being a writer, answers to 10 questions put to agents, 10 tips from published authors, and much more. Now, I'm not going to go in much detail into all of this because I want you to read this book for yourself and see how you like it, and maybe even pull out some things that you really like, and maybe, I don't know, keep a note to yourself, reminding yourself about these things you've learned. That way, you're like really inputting it into your writer's life. And if you're planning to be professional and go big by publishing your books, well, either way, it's still considered professional because you're still writing a good book or a good story or any creative work. Now, writing short stories or novels, all of that is not the only kind of writing you can do. You can do songwriting, you can do poetry writing, haiku writing, all sonnet writing, free verse, short stories, narratives, memoirs, non-fiction, anything you can do, but they're all forms of writing. You can try it out. Songwriting is really different from regular writing, but you can give that a try as well if you want to. So those are a few things you can do. Now on to my tips for how to write a short story. Well, short stories first of all are really short. They are ranging between 1000 to 3000 words at the very most, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but mainly between the 1000 to 3000 range. So basically, in this short amount of words, you would like to be the best. My first tip obviously would be try not to delve dive deep into like the nitty gritty of your topic. So let's say writing about I don't know, a fairy who found a stone, which is part of a prophecy, and she has fulfilled all of that. Now, this storyline would need to be really well developed if you want to work in a short story, which is why I would suggest you do not choose such a wild topic, because you cannot mush or manage to put all of it into a short story without it making seem really abrupt or really fast paced. Now, to do that, you would really have to focus on like keeping a lot of varying structures, sentence structures. Honestly, all of these tips I'm giving you is from what I've learned in my English classes from my 8th grade English teacher. She has always told us to vary in sentence structure, keep some long sentences, short sentences. Now, in the next few episodes, the next episode is going to be Christmas related, but the following few episodes, I'll have a New Year one, and after the New Year episode, I will keep an episode where I explain to you when you use short sentences, when to use long sentences. Um, that's my first tip, and so it's mainly about like you should not be trying to choose a topic which is too big for you to write all of it to fit into a short story. Because short story has little space, you should use it without using too much. Second tip would be try not to describe things too much when not required. Like when you could just say the green bush. Like let's say you're in a fast-paced situation or a fast situation, then you can. In a fast-paced situation, then I would suggest not giving too much description and making the words go higher. But if you're going in a slow one and you're writing a novel or maybe a longer thing, longer piece, then you could maybe include more description on like what's going on and everything. The third tip would be, even though you're writing a short story, still try to give your characters a personality so that they do not seem too flat and unrealistic. Because even though you're not writing a big novel, still writing a story, so your short stories should really make your reader want more work from you, be it creative writing or whatever. And then later on, whenever you decide to write a novel, they are like, yes, this writer really does write good, let's like continue reading their work. Because they know that if you can write short stories really well, eventually you'll be writing novels which would also have like the same product, similar product sense into that. So that would be my third tip. Now my fourth tip would be plot. Now plot is like similar to what I told you in the first. Your plot should not be digressing. So like do not keep too many subplots. Just like maybe keep one or two. My preference would be one, because keeping two subplots would keep it really long. So I prefer you keep like, I suggest you keep one subplot, and that one subplot you can add in addition to your main conflict or problem which is going on, and then you can continue with that. Now you may be wondering what subplot is or what conflict is if you do not know already what it is. Now conflict, in just a nutshell, conflict is basically the main highlight or the main problem in your whole story or novel. In this case we're talking about short story, so I'll be saying the middle of the short story, which is like the conflict or the climax. So conflict is basically the problem which is in there, and the climax is like the high point where like everything is really sudden, feels very tensed up and all of that. So that's like what the conflict is, and the subplots are like the plots which are in between. So like subplot would be like in Harry Potter, if you have read it, but I'm trying not to give you an example which will give out the ending or even the middle part of it, because if you've not read it, it will end up spoiling it. But you know what, let's just leave the Harry Potter example. Let me just give you a random made up example. So let's say a book is about a warrior going on a quest to save its kingdom. Now a subplot could be maybe the warrior finds a long lost pet, and then maybe go into the history of the long lost pet. Now that's a subplot. You're digressing from the main goal, which is to save the kingdom, and going into the pet side. Now in a short story, that's why I'm saying that do not go into more subplot, because that would just digress from the whole point, and then you will not be having the good quality short story you want. My last and final tip is, try to, like, even if you're writing a short story, try to get as many themes and symbols in there as possible. Well, at the most you should probably just have one or two themes, or even more depending on like your interest and what you want it to be. So in your theme you can maybe have like a theme of family is what keeps you together, or peace is forever, or something like that. Symbols would be, you could have symbol of love, you could have symbol of family, you could have symbol of unity or freedom or independence or sovereignty. Basically anything you want. Basically symbols could even be literal symbols like doves for peace, fire for maybe anger, I guess. So that's the 5 tips I have for you on how to write a short story which is captivating and nice. Mainly it's not like how to write a short story, it's mainly like how to, like the tips on what should be there in a good short story, kind of like that. Anyways, that's the end of the episode. Before I end this episode, I would just like to say next week's episode is gonna be a Christmas episode, and the following week after Christmas, even though the new year would have already been done, which means like Jan 1st would have already passed, I'll be having another one on the first Sunday in January, where I'll be like doing New Year resolution kind of thing, my New Year resolutions, my New Year goals, what have I accomplished in the past year, and all of those kind of stuff. That's pretty much it. And then after those episodes, I'll be talking about structure, like when to use short sentences, when to use big sentences, kind of like those stuff. And pretty much that's it. And then in February, most likely I'll do a Valentine's Day special episode, like how I did last year. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess. As the months come, I will update you with the latest information on like what's going to be happening. For now, this is just it. I'll be uploading a calendar as well, or maybe like a document where you can like just see what is going to be happening for each week. I'll just write it out on a list and then you can see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you all next time. Have fun, keep reading, keep writing, and keep your creative juices going on. Okay guys, thank you for listening. Have a nice day.